Pay close attention, you who have difficulty mastering yourself, controlling your temper. Maybe you have some addiction, whatever addiction it may be, and it's not drugs, alcohol, or cigarettes only. Any addiction. Addiction, it's a repetitive action that is bad for the user, those who practice it. You who have addictions, you can't control your words, you speak nonsense, you always have relationship problems because you spoke more than you should. Pay attention, you have problems on having dominion over yourself. When God created the human being, He said, "Let us make man in our image, according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps over the earth." And when God created man and woman under His own image, and says that He blessed them and said, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it, have dominion over all the earth." Very well. We understand that man was placed in a hierarchical position on the earth for dominion. He would have dominion over everything, and nobody would have dominion over man, a part of God. God has created us little below the angels. This is for now, because in the future will be above the angels. Those who will be saved will be in a higher position than the angels. For now, we are below them. And below nobody else and nothing else. However, when a person finds themselves dominated by anything in this life, we understand that something is wrong on their inside, on their spiritual side, because you were not created to be dominated, but to dominate. See that God placed no other humans under man. God didn't say, "Men have dominion over other men." He said, "Over all the earth." The obligation of man is to have dominion over the earth, not in the sense of spoiling it, as many do it, but in the sense of taking care of it, caring for the creation, being carers of the work and creation of God. This was the responsibility God gave to the human being. So we have no right to have dominion over other people, but we have the obligation to take care of everything that God put under our responsibility, including ourselves. The word says, "The man who does not have dominion over himself is like a city that is not safe." In other words, anybody comes in, steal it, plunder it. It's like a house with no doors or gates. So if you have noticed that you, for example, have an addiction, the addiction is a classic example of the person being dominated by a greater force. You smoke, drink, watch porn. You wake up going to work tired because you spend the whole night watching pornography, watching what you shouldn't, playing video games, online games, placing bets on the internet. You became addicted on placing bets on matches that is dominating you in such a way that you don't sleep enough. You arrive late for work. When you are on the street to look at women, you are addicted to pornography. You see a butchery. You don't see human beings who are worthy of respect. You see what pornography led you to see. You have been spoiling your life with cigarettes, drugs, your money is going towards your addiction. You You must conclude that something greater than you is dominating you. You who can master your words. You speak more than you should. You hurt people. You spoil relationships. You say words that are bad even to yourself, because you know there are things we think about. One thing is to think and say, I don't want to think about this. We tell ourselves and say, I won't think on this. This is not a good thought. A bad thought comes, then we identify the bad thought and eliminate it. I don't want to think about it. This is something. Something else is for you to keep the bad thought and to speak about it. When you find some ears that have the same thoughts as yours, you pour these words upon other people and you do evil towards them and yourself too. And you alienate yourself from friends, bridges, links, family, relationships, because you speak what you shouldn't. You become an inconvenient, inconsequential, disrespectful person. And that also is lack of control, lack of dominion over yourself. Let's speak about another area that many have no dominion over, your temper. Your temper is unpredictable. You are someone that people have to walk on eggshells around you. One word that is misplaced, you start breaking things, you start cursing, you humiliate, you hurt people because of your temper. While in traffic, you are a risk for you and others. If someone does something that is not good, you want to argue with them, you want to chase them, you want to curse them, you want to make signs with your hands. All this is lack of control, a sign that you are out of control. You who have no control over your own desires, all of us, we have good and bad desires. And maybe you live to give in to the desires that comes to your mind and you want to do it. This is inconsequential. You betray your husband, you flirt with others, you are unfaithful. Maybe you steal small things in the company. You know what I'm talking about? Because your eyes saw it and you say, this is nice. The company has a lot. They have a lot of this. They have insurance, and then you take that home. All these are examples of a person who does not dominate themselves. So what do I want to tell you? If something's controlling you, you must understand that you are not the human being God created you to be. Therefore, you are under a power that is not God. Pay attention. You are under a power that is not the power of God, because God won't force you to do evil. You are under a power that is no angels. The two only powers that is above us are not the powers that are having dominion over you. So, what is the power that you think is dominating you? It can only be the devil. It can only be a spirit from hell, an evil force, to have dominion over you in such a way that leads you to have destructive and self-destructive behavior and to not be able to stop it. You have to realize that. And the only way for you to set yourself free from this, first of all, you need to recognize that you can't. Stop lying, saying that I stop when I can. When I can, I will stop it. Or blaming others. I am like this because of so-and-so. I am like this because of you. Stop giving excuses, blaming others. Take the responsibility. First step. Second step. Recognize that you cannot do on your own. You are being dominated by a greater power than yours, an evil force, a spiritual force that took over you, and the only way for you to set yourself free from it is once you subject yourself to God. It's what the Word of God says. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. It's what is written. You have to submit to God. The first verse says, subject yourself to God. It's the first part. Second, and resist the devil, and he will flee from you. Because you can't resist the devil without subjecting yourself to God. Here is the way out of this life of slavery you have been living in. I'm giving you the truth, the word of God, but it's up to you to do what needs to be done. Remember, God created you to have dominion, to live free. But if you have been a slave of yourself or something else, or other things have been stronger than you, you are not in the place God created you to be.
Did you like this? Would you like to hear it again? Listen to it as many times as you need until this content becomes part of you. Don't forget to leave your like, comment, and share. See you next time.